What is going on, everybody? We are about to embark on a journey into the details regarding Antonio Brown's alleged rape of his former trainer. Now, look, I don't want to, we want to try to be serious about this, right? But still at the same time, we're sports fans. This is going to be a bit of a informal discussion about this situation. But let's first start by reading the details in this United States District Court, Southern District of Florida. Plaintiff Brittany Taylor versus Antonio. Oh, they got a different name for him on this one. Antonio Brown. 1 second here, guys. Do it live. Fuck it. All right. So, look, I'm going to try and be quick, but I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can be quick like that, But we will try. Hit me on the chat because I am going to be reading, but I will be looking at the chat on my cell phone to keep up with what's going on. So let's get into it. Plaintiff Brittany Taylor, by and through her attorneys, Haas Law, blah, 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 alleges as follows for her complaint. Introduction. Part 1. This case is about how Antonio Brown, I guess in a legal setting, we're going to have to use his government name, a highly successful wide receiver in the National Football League, exploited, sexually assaulted, and raped his former trainer, Brittany Taylor. Brown preyed on Miss Taylor's kindness and her religious devotion, casting himself as a person equally dedicated to his religious faith, someone she could trust. So clearly, he was running game on her based on what we are reading in this allegation. But hey, if you're a guy, think a little bit here. How many times have you acted like you liked something that your girlfriend liked before she was your girlfriend, even though you really didn't like it, just so, you could get close to her and be able to hang out and then make her your girlfriend? We all did that, right? Right? Let's see here. Okay. In reality, he used manipulation and false promises to lure her into his world. And once there, he sexually assaulted and raped her. These heinous acts have inflicted severe dramatic damage on Miss Taylor, irreparably harming her. In June 2017, Brown sexually assaulted Miss Taylor twice while they were together for training sessions. First, Brown exposed himself and kissed Miss Taylor without her consent. Later that month, Brown, while positioned behind Miss Taylor, began masturbating near her without her knowledge. Jesus, this motherfucker he's a savage. What? Who does this? And he busted one on her back. We'll just say that so that we don't, offend too many people. Miss Taylor realized what occurred when she felt a wet spot soak through her clothing. Later, in astonishingly profane and angry text messages, Brown bragged about the incident to her. So, this guy was dumb enough Okay, yeah. Drive-in mayhem. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm reading this partially as entertainment, but also I'm seriously looking at it and trying to see what the details are. This is what her lawyers and herself are accusing and alleging that this happened, from Antonio Brown. So, with all the details of it, we're going to just go through it piece by piece. And I'll give a little commentary here and there, but generally I'm just going to read and react as I naturally would, in any situation. So I may mess around and bust out laughing, like, I mean, just because it's like, who has the gall to do some shit like that? You know what I mean? What's going on, Real Captain Jack? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to Story Time. Okay, so she felt a wet spot soaking through her clothing. Later, in astonishingly profane and angry text messages, Brown bragged about the incident to her. Shocked and deeply embarrassed by this assault and his degrading messages, Miss Taylor cut off her working relationship with Brown. However, several months later, Brown reached out to Miss Taylor, expressing contrition, begging forgiveness, and pleading with her to train him again. Miss Taylor was hesitant, but eventually agreed, swayed by his assurance that he would cease any sexual advances. Okay, so just to kind of, go through this situation from this certain part of the timeline. I mean, I just have to wonder to myself, what exactly does she offer him as a trainer that he would have had a problem replacing once she cut off that relationship? If his intentions were, in fact, genuine. That's a good question to ask. If you make an advance on your trainer and she shuts you down, and I mean, come on, making an advance is one thing, but I mean, this cat beat his meat on her back. I would have assumed that there will be no communications ever again with that person. I mean, I would just assume that. But still, what kind of service did she provide that was of such value to Antonio Clown that he could not find anyone of that level of training anywhere else? I mean, that's a logical question, right? Okay, so as we move forward, Brown's assurances proved false. On May 20th, 2018, Brown cornered Miss Taylor, forced her down onto a bed, pushed her face into the mattress, and forcibly raped her. Miss Taylor tried to resist him, but Brown was too strong and physically overpowered her. She screamed and cried throughout the entire rape, repeatedly shouting no and stop. Brown refused and penetrated her. Which, I mean, now that, I mean, that's cold. That's cold. If that is what indeed happened, and if it's proven to be true, then, hey, she is completely within every right, and I'm almost assuming that the federal authorities will begin to look into this as a criminal case. And, wouldn't it be poetic justice, though? Maybe. I don't know. I'll reserve my my opinion on that, but that's just the first thing that comes to my mind. Like, with the timing of this, how it's all playing out, I just feel like this is what the fuck you get. I mean, first off, you did this last year and the year before, which means, you're a scumbag. If this is proven to be true, let me not mistake where we're at right now in the process of this. These are allegations. So just assume everything I say is has a a little asterisk that says allegation next to it when I talk about, the acts that are being alleged here. But let's see what we got here. King Tut, what up? So King Tut says she trained with him again. That makes me doubt the story. Look, I don't know how to explain this, but actually I do know how to explain this. As an NFL player, as a professional athlete, the level of confidence that we have and the level of persuasiveness that we usually, well, the intelligent ones, which I don't want to say he's intelligent, but, when you're running game on somebody, it's about manipulation. It's about finding, some type of common ground with that person to, build rapport. And this cat, went after her faith in order to control her, in order to get under, any kind of guard she had. And I mean, come on. At the end of the day, every gym I go to go work out, they say, oh man, you used to play in the NFL? Oh man, that's what's up. That's what's up. I can get them to do whatever I want them to do right there. Soon as I can get them to do whatever I want. She has this person who is considered one of the best at his position in the NFL. She went to school with him. He's given her, a job. He's probably paying her pretty well. And of course, for him, he thinks he has leverage over her to do something like this, if that's what happened. And from there, it's all about he's in control because he's the one who supports her livelihood at that, particular junction. Now, several months removed from his services, we don't know. We don't know exactly what her financial situation was. So she may have been in a hard spot, a real hard spot. And he may have called just at the right time, just what the doctor ordered for, as it seemed at that time. So, when King Tut, when I read what you're saying about her, going to train with him again, I don't look at that and say, oh, I doubt her story, because you don't know what her situation was at that time. She may have been in financial, dire straits financially. So that would have been something that would have got her right back up on her feet, if that was the case. Which means, again, he's in a position of power over her. And this is not no SJW bullshit. That's just the psychology of it. He has the power because he's supplying her with livelihood. Kind of like how the Raiders had the power. And they supplied him with his livelihood. And when he kept on that bullshit, they cut him loose. So let's continue. Brown's assault and rape okay, we already got through that. Okay. Ms. Taylor brings this action to recover compensatory and punitive damages for the significant harm Brown caused by this brutal and sadistic misconduct. And this is the parties, this is the venues. The court has original jurisdiction because there is diversity between the parties and the amount of controversy. Okay. I wonder how much she's asking for. She better be asking for like 30 mil. 30's the magic number. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about over here. All right, let me come back. Driving Mayhem says, I believe Brown rose to such fame and fortune that he believes he's untouchable. Well, that's the invincibility complex that most professional athletes across all sports have, because we are the elite of the elite within our realm of existence. So, sometimes you got to put yourself in check. There are, I'm not saying everybody's like this cat, but we do have a little bit of that, invincibility complex, which when it goes too far, these are the kind of things that can happen, because this is an allegation. We don't know yet. NFL has to step in here. Not only, of course, Carrick Avalron. NFL has to step in here not only to look at the Raiders debacle, but to ice this guy for a few games so we can get the facts. Patriots don't need him. They're going to win 12, 14 games anyway. All right. We ain't need all that at the end of that. We don't need to talk about the Patriots. Just talk about the NFL investigating, all right? Okay. RC, what up, man? RC. Let's see here. What's everybody saying? Eric S. If we find out she has Josh Gordon on her fantasy team. ZZ, what's up? What's going on? King Tut. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that's just the way it is. When you're in that kind of position, like, people want to be around you, people want to be a part of what you are doing. They want to, they want that success to rub off on them. So in a way, it's empowering to the athlete because we can control, pretty much people's movements and people's decisions because they're looking at us as that kind of figure in their life, and we're helping their situation, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, that's too far. You don't do that to people, if that's what happened. Let's look at one more here. B. Raj, aloha. Yes, sir. Go Jags. All right, let's continue reading. We want to get through this. We don't got all night. Plaintiff demands trial by combat. No, I'm just kidding. Plaintiff demands a trial by jury in this action. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. And don't mind, it's a black and mild. I'm just, that's me. When they got to read, this is juicy stuff. Brittany Taylor is a 28-year-old world-class gymnast who was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. She comes from a highly religious and close-knit family. Miss Taylor started gymnastics when she was only 3 years old and soon became recognized as an athlete with exceptional abilities, discipline, and dedication. In high school, she trained twice a day for a total of 40 hours per week. 40 hours per week in high school. All right. In addition to her coursework, she reached elite level, meaning she was eligible to compete for international competitions like the Olympics. She received 14 full college scholarships offers from schools with some of the best athletic programs in the country. This year, she will be inducted into the inaugural Tennessee Gymnastics Hall of Fame. Okay, she's a baller too, though. So maybe that 40 hours ain't too big of an exaggeration. I still don't think that she spent 40 hours a week on gymnastics. Maybe gymnastics, well, I guess it is in addition to her coursework. So yeah, that makes sense. But she's a world-class athlete herself, in her own right, which is a good thing. I think that for that kind of sets the tone for her character. I mean, at least from, the perspective from her side of the coin, she is an outstanding athlete in her own right, which, okay. She succeeded in the sport even though she often worked with unsupportive and verbally abusive coaches. Ooh. See, that's a little bit of a red flag for me right there. And was almost always the lone African-American gymnast on her team and at meets. This sentence here I have a slight problem with this sentence. Because I look at it and I say, is she setting herself as a lifelong victim? Now, I'm not going to say whether she is or not. I'm not going to pass any kind of judgment in that respect. But maybe this is, and this, again, all speculation from me. This is not I don't think this is how it is. But I look at this and I'm reading in between the lines. She's somebody who is a good-hearted, God-fearing, super religious, close to her family kind of person who is taken advantage of by people in positions of authority over her. And she was almost always the lone African-American gymnast on her team. I mean, maybe that's because a lot of black folks don't do gymnastics. I mean, come on. That's like saying I'm like one of the only black tennis players on our tennis squad or whatever. I don't even know, whatever. So that for me is like, that's kind of like just fluff. That's fluff. They didn't need to add that in there. Miss Taylor meets Brown at Central Michigan University. Oh, they started from the beginning. Hi. Benzo H, what's going on, man? Yeah, you guys are seeing the same thing I'm seeing here. She's a world-class athlete for sure. In 2010, Miss Taylor started her freshman year at Central Michigan University. Miss Taylor joined the college's Fellowship of Christian Athletes group. Not gonna lie, no disrespect to anybody who is, religious or anything like that. But that FCA, when I was in high school, middle school, man, I used to be like, get away from me. I'm not joining no FCA. I ain't doing that. I'm a high school kid. I'm trying to have fun. I don't need y'all telling me all this Christian athlete stuff. During her first meeting, she was paired with Antonio Brown as his Bible study partner. Okay. Here's a funny thing, though. I didn't know that, and I have no idea how FCA groups work. I have no idea whatsoever. Like I said, I wasn't about none of that when I was growing up. I don't even want to hear none of that. I'm playing ball and I'm going to my classes. That's it. But Central Michigan University, they said she was paired with Antonio Brown as his Bible study partner. That doesn't make too much sense to me. I mean, you're a grown adult. You're in college. Like, somebody's going to tell you got to work with Antonio? Like, but whatever. It's irrelevant. This is an irrelevant detail to the entire situation that we're really trying to get to the meat and bone, the meat of. But these also, at the same time, these are things that are put in this complaint to paint a picture of her and her intentions when she initially met him and her intentions as their work relationship progressed. So, but I do find it hard to believe that you would be paired with somebody in college rather than, everybody sits in a group and kind of figures out who they want to work with. So anyways, Brown was well known on campus and the football team star wide receiver. A year later, Brown went to play in the NFL, becoming one of the most successful wide receivers in the league. Miss Taylor transferred to LSU, but they remained in touch. In approximately 2013, Miss Taylor's senior year at LSU, Brown sent her a message on social media asking for a picture of her. Slid in them DMs. Miss Taylor sent him a picture of her face. Dissatisfied, Brown asked for a more revealing one. Miss Taylor refused, reminding Brown that they were just friends. So he must have got friend zoned pretty early on in this, and that did not sit well with old Antonio Clown. You can't tell the clown that he ain't going to have no fun. Again, allegations. Allegations. Yeah, we used to beat the shit out of Central Michigan all the time. They was like our warm-up game. NWA, you just got a letter in the wrong spot. Jack the Raider. Last name is NWA NERI. Jose, appreciate it. Appreciate you, Jose. Appreciate you. Who else? Okay. We got the chat going on in here. Eric S. He told her to put her hands on his Bible and feel how much love he has for everyone. All right, so continuing on. Where were we here? Okay, she friend zoned him. And then, for approximately 4 years after Miss Taylor graduated from LSU, the two fell out of touch. During that time, Miss Taylor pursued a lifelong dream of opening a gymnastics training center for predominantly African-American girls in her hometown of Memphis. I mean, okay. Look, and this has nothing to do with her allegations. Nothing. But why are they going to put this in here? What is this? What purpose does all of this life story stuff serve if you're filing a complaint? Get to the point. She wanted to create a safe and supportive... Oh man, I'm having trouble now even reading it because I'm like, I don't care about that. What is the deal with AC? If I'm a judge, that's what I'm thinking. Why are you telling me all this? I mean, I want to know about where things went wrong, not about what she was doing right. You know what I mean? But we'll read through it for the entertainment purposes. Because I mean, it's like, okay, you're trying to set her up as like, you know, this, and I hate to, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect her anyway. I'm not trying to disrespect her. I don't know the woman, and you know, from everything I've read so far, seems like she had her shit together pretty well. She's, you know, doing well. She's a world-class athlete. But what does her opening up a gymnastics training center for predominantly African-American girls in her hometown of Memphis have to do with Antonio Brown? Nothing. So why? You talked about her specific athletic accomplishments, which is fine. But now you're kind of trying to almost write it as a puff piece for her while you know, lead up to tearing down and presenting her side of her story with Antonio Brown, which that to me is the most important part of this entire thing. What happens with Brown? We don't need to hear all this. But Miss Taylor opened a training center in 2016. Her business quickly grew quickly because of her knowledge of gymnastics and her devotion to her students. She even covered the cost of tuition for several students whose families were unable to afford it, which means she let them work out for free because really, at the end of the day, if her business grew pretty quickly, then it wouldn't have hurt her at all to give, you know, some people who needed the help, you know, free entry into her training center, which that's a great thing for her to have done. But it still doesn't have anything to do with the case. That irritates me because that's a lawyer thing. That's what lawyers do. That's what they put in there because they want to curry some kind of favor with the judge already, or put her in the kind of light where the judge, you know, already has formulated an opinion in his head, because we all formulate opinions the more we learn about people, regardless of what our job is. And so now they're trying to put that in his head. It's a lawyer strategy, but at the end of the day, I don't like it because it could potentially influence decision making. And if we're going to go through a trial that really potentially could lead to some real serious stuff, then we want equal footing for everybody, right? So, I mean, if I'm a judge, I'm like, yo, take this out. Take all this out and keep to the facts of the case. We don't need to know all of this extra fluff. Anyways, after less than a year, she was training approximately 50 students and had another 200 students on her waiting list. 200 students on her waiting list. 200 students on her waiting list. I would figure that would be the other way around. You got 200 students with 50 more on a waiting list. So, well, either way, looks like business was booming. So she was about her business and making some money. And now we get back to Brown reconnects with Miss Taylor. In June 2017, Brown reached out to Miss Taylor via Facebook, asking her how she was doing. Miss Taylor responded that she was doing well and enthusiastically described the development of and plans for her gym. During the course of this renewed contact, Brown indicated he wanted Miss Taylor's help improving flexibility and strength in his ankles and fast twitch muscles, areas in which he had developed expertise. She had developed expertise through gymnastics. I mean, he's running game. He's running game. Look at this. Dude, you're a professional athlete. You get the best kind of flexibility training and the best fast twitch muscle training that's available. All of this was for him to get close so he could, see what was good. Allegedly. Let's not forget that. As a result, the two agreed that Miss Taylor would provide physical training services to Brown. Oh man. Let's see here. Zatoishi's cane sword. She's trying to climb up off his back, seems to me. No, actually she's not. If you've been listening while I've been reading, the woman has a full-time business that she runs in a gymnastics training center with 200 people on a waiting list and 50 active participants in gymnastics training. So it sounds like she had some good business going on. She really didn't need anything from him at all, which I applaud that. She's handling her own shit. She's making her own money. She's doing what she do. That's good. That's good. Oh. Okay. All right. Volrath FGC. You just joined, have no context other than there's pretty much allegations, but if it's true, well, we're going through this piece by piece right now, and we are currently at the connection between Miss Taylor and Antonio Clown. So we're going to continue here. I'm just going through the chat to see what's going on. Don Trey, what's good? Don Trey. Wonder what kind of game he tried to spit with his frostbitten feet. Jose Farias. I say, hey, I hear you, bro. Welcome on in, Dookie. Yeah, it's crazy in here, cuz. Hey, she, I can't say, she's cute, I guess, you know what I mean? But, not my type. All right, let's get back to this, guys. The The arrangement between them included Miss Taylor flying to locations in Pittsburgh and Florida, where Brown had homes where he trained. This motherfucker was over here running game like a fucking fool. Miss Taylor never dated or had an interest in any romantic relationship with Brown. Their relationship, as far as Miss Taylor believed and behaved, was that of a brother-sister type. Oh man, I think she did friend zone this cat for real. Hey, and that probably was even more an incentive for him to hunt and to go after her, because you want what you can't have, right? Allegedly. Let's just remember we keep this allegedly. But okay. Chapter 3. Brown engages in inappropriate behavior and sexualized misconduct. During a training trip in early June 2017, Ms. Taylor was in one of Brown's homes in the Pittsburgh area where she was staying because he had not booked her a hotel room. All right. That's mistake number one. Just from a dude's perspective, you know, let me light the black up for this one. So, look, guys, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, when okay, so I am this is my third year in the NFL, and you know, I meet a chick. When was this? I meet a chick in New York, and you know, we start talking, and we haven't done anything, but we just met. We exchanged numbers. We talked. Over text and shit while I was in Jacksonville, and she just asked me if she could come to a game. I said, sure, you can come to a game. And, and I got her a ticket, flew her into Jacksonville, and pretty much without even, and this may be flawed thinking, but this is how a lot of cats will perceive things. The moment you ask to do anything with me, it's on. So the fact that I bought the ticket, got her ticket to the game, in my head, I'm smashing that. Period. Now, that being said, never, ever, ever force myself on a woman ever in my life. I've never forced myself on a woman. But when a motherfucker pays for that flight, he is going to expect something. Like Dave Chappelle said, ain't no free trips to Hawaii. Woo! So, she was getting dressed in an upstairs bathroom when Brown walked in with his penis exposed. You know what? You know what's crazy? This ain't the first time I've heard about a motherfucker doing some shit like that. Like, chicks have told me about certain people whose names I will not name because it's irrelevant, that cats think that that's some kind of like mating ritual or mating call. Who walks in the bathroom with they shit out? Like, I've never done that. I've never done that. To a chick that I've never had any kind of relations with, I've never walked into a room that they're in with my dick out. Like, That's lame as hell. That's lame as hell. Like, wow. So that might be true because I've heard that, and it always, I've heard it 3 or 4 times from different chicks in the past, and I'm like, what? Who does that? Lame motherfucker. She immediately covered her eyes with her hands and walked out of the bathroom. Oh my God. This is fucking ridiculous. Brown then grabbed and kissed her without her consent. Miss Taylor pushed him away and immediately left the room. Brown's actions made Miss Taylor extremely uncomfortable. She was in a long-term and serious relationship with another man and had no interest in a sexual relationship with Brown. Whoa. Hold on. Eric Helvey, yes. I've explained that a little bit to the audience, and thank you for adding that. Jose, I see you. But yeah, he is definitely setting a narrative that she's a wholesome, God-fearing, Christian woman who was taken advantage of by this arrogant, disrespectful, selfish, verbally abusive predator. Now, if Antonio Clown fits any of that description, she might have a case. I'm not going to answer it. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But okay. To move on here, let's move this along. We're getting there. We're about to be on page 6, so we're almost halfway through it. I'm gonna speed this up. I'm just trying to, the narrative is right here in front of us, like our buddy Eric Helvey said. So, yes, we see what the picture they're trying to paint. But again, if I am a judge, I'm looking at this, and maybe, Eric, help us out. Maybe you know something more. Maybe you know civil law. Are you a lawyer? Yeah, Louis C.K. did ask permission before, but it was his own room. It was his own hotel room. If you don't want to see a man beat his meat, leave the room. It's his room. But it says here, okay, so after that situation, okay, this is what I really wanted to get to. What guy, because a good question to ask her at that point would be, did your boyfriend know, since you guys were in a serious relationship, that you were flying to go stay at Antonio Brown's house while you trained him? Because I believe if he knew that, he would have been in the seat right next to your ass on the plane. Because he knew exactly what the fuck was gonna go down if he had any knowledge that she was going where she was going and she was going to stay at his house. Absolutely, he would not be cool with that. So that's a question to ask, but it's also an irrelevant question. Let's see here. But because her professional relationship with Brown was important and because she took it seriously, Miss Taylor willed herself to brush off the episode, hoping that Brown would stop pursuing her. Naive, because that's not how it works. This guy's a professional athlete, a competitor. His entire mentality is to win. So, to think that he was going to stop pursuing you, he just walked in the bathroom with his schlong swinging side to side. What makes you think he's going to stop for 1 second if you didn't call the cops on him right then and there? I mean, I'm just saying. In late June 2017, however, during another training visit, Brown and Miss Taylor were watching a church service. We're watching a church service on Miss Taylor's iPad in Brown's home in Miami, Florida. What? Come on. Come on. I mean, come on. Watching a church, who watches a church service anyways? But on your iPad in his house in Miami? I mean, I'm in no way sitting here saying that, you know, she's lying about anything, but there's a lot of fluff going on with this narrative they're trying to set here because, I mean, look, nobody watches church service on iPads in Miami. All right? Let's just be real for a second. Nobody. Hey, King Tut. Yeah, exactly, right? This cat's been running game on her, just acting like he loves Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, what? As they had during their college Christian fellowship days, they often read scriptures. Scriptures, prayed or watched services together during training visits. Oh my goodness. This is like the whole, each line is just, I'm like, dude, and she couldn't tell that this cat was not, he'd been running a 5-year con on her. You know what I mean? Joel Osteen and chill. But, read scriptures, prayed, and watched services together during training visits. Man, let me tell you something. If I had a trainer who look, don't even ask me to come to church. That's how I feel. I had some Jehovah's Witness come knock on the door the other day, and I'm like, yo, who are y'all? They're like, oh, we're Jehovah's Witness. I'm like, I don't even want no card. Get out. What y'all want? I don't want nothing. Well, we're having a service here on this day. I'm like, look, I ain't been to church since I was a senior in high school. Go away. Damn. Anyways, on this occasion, Brown was behind Miss Taylor as they watched the service on her tablet. Unbeknownst to Miss Taylor, while she was focused on the religious video, Brown began beating his meat behind her, masturbating behind her. I mean, but wasn't y'all just sitting next to each other, like watching church? How did he all of a sudden have his shit ready to just start yanking on like it was nothing? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying some details seem to be being shaped in a different direction, because I can almost guarantee you that I can guess exactly what was happening. Look, these motherfuckers were sitting on the couch. He was trying to get her to do something. She wasn't with it. She might have, been grabbing on his junk a little bit, give him a little quick stroke, 1 or 2. And then she was like, nah, we're not going no further than that. And okay, let's think about who we're talking about here. Antonio Clown. He probably put his face paint on, did a little twirly somersault off the couch, mad, walked around for a second, looked in the fridge, came back, seen she was still over there sitting there looking at her damn Joel Osteen video on her iPad. And, the cat might have popped a Viagra or something and been like, man, I'm about to just go ahead and just bust all over her back. And that's what he did. So, clearly, there's a few minute details that are missing in this. And at the end of the day, those details could be enough to, sway the decision should anything come up that isn't specifically documented in her account. But again, I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm just saying these damn lawyers did a hell of a job putting together a picture for the jury that's gonna be looking at this. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Woo! Unbeknownst to her, while she was focused on the religious video, Brown began masturbating behind her. Before she knew it or understood what was happening, Brown ejaculated on her. Specifically, Miss Taylor felt a wet spot on her back and then suddenly realized what had happened. Thoroughly disgusted, Miss Taylor exclaimed, "Ew!" Brown, unfazed by her reaction, jokingly responded, "Oh, B, you know I'm sorry," and then left the room. Miss Taylor was dismayed, confused, and embarrassed. She called her mother, who advised her to immediately leave. Yeah, I'd like to see what time she called her mom. Let's see them phone records, because if she was that disgusted, she would have been out the gate right then and there, you know. But again, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not going to sit here and make an assumption or speculate. But as a professional athlete, you know, I mean, honestly, I don't have no experience with this, so I really can't even say that I've been there. I haven't. I ain't ever beat my meat on nobody's back. At least not anybody I wasn't like married to. You know what I mean? She also confided in Brown's chef, who she had befriended. How long was she staying at this cat's house? She befriended the chef. I mean, damn. I mean, there's a lot of naivete going on here. I mean, come on. Like, if this is a professional relationship, you ain't befriending no chefs at his house. Matter of fact, if this is a professional relationship, you should probably stay away from his house and meet at a gym or in a field somewhere. Damn, I had a trainer in Jacksonville and we met. I mean, he was one of the coolest cats that I knew in Jacksonville. And that cat ain't never seen the inside of my house. We was at the soccer field right across the street every day in the off season when we would start training come March. You ain't coming to my house, cuz. We don't know each other like that. I mean, we was cool, but still ain't coming to my house. Shoot. All right, let's see here. What we got here? Eric, not an attorney, had friends that are, have friends that are. Also keeping tabs on a separate civil case in the anime world. Look up Rikita Law on the Vic Mignogna case. Okay, will do. King Tut. Minyana. Oh, okay, Minyana. Unfazed. You damn right that cat was unfazed. He just walked right out the room. Same chef that sued ABC? Maybe. Starting to sound like a murder mystery. Vic has been accused of sexual assault. He is suing for defamation. Rikita breaks down the case as he is an attorney, very informative. All right, I'll take a look. Okay, moving forward. We're moving forward in this. We're going to get this done here in the next 20, 30 minutes, guys, I promise. Or we can just we'll take our time. No matter. All right, so she became friends with the chef. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. It's kind of irrelevant. He befriended her about what happened, and she had been befriended about what happened, and what? Oh, okay, she confided in him. Okay. And stated that she would not be returning to work for Brown. Shortly thereafter, she received a text message from Brown telling her she was fired. Damn! He said, you know what? No, you're not quitting. You're fired. Brown also bragged in a preserved text message about masturbating on her, stating that he jacked his... I mean, I want to say it, but I don't know how they do with this monetization shit, so He jacked his dick on her back. that's cold-blooded. And that was going, and that he was going to laugh with one of their mutual friends from college about it. Damn, okay. Oh! Ah! Oh my God! Woo! I'm zooming in on this, fellas. I'm gonna zoom in. Y'all got to see this. Antonio Brown, June 29th, 5:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No subject. I jack my dick on your back. Slept with you in bed. F your knowledge, B. I've been all pro before I even knew you. That was AB. Oh, 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 Lord, Lord. You hit me up online, B, crying. I didn't hit you up. You never left my house since you had a hotel. You fell asleep on my couch. F out of here. My baby mama trick your dumb ass. Blast me. What? Blast me, you're a failure, telling everybody you own a gym. Oh, shit. He must not, it must not have been hurt. She must have lost it. Something happened. What you gonna blast? Don't effing write my phone lying, B. Thought it was easy to get a come up. Using God alias, fake ass hoe. You and your mama thought y'all hoes had a come up. F out of here. Don't write my team. What? Doesn't make too much sense. Doesn't make too much sense at all. But here's my question. Why is this picture here a different resolution and quality than this picture on the left? This picture on the left looks pretty clear because it was a print from a screenshot. This looks like a screenshot. On the same day, it's 7:47 p.m. And it is definitely a little bit less in terms of resolution, but who knows? But also, could be something. Antonio Brown, later on that evening, thanks for giving us control of your life for 3 weeks. Next time you and your mama plotting on a come up, make sure you all hoes pick the right man, dumbass hoes. Maybe somebody you already effed your mama controlling your life like she gonna help the come up. You failed at gymnast. Oh my God. Wow. You failed at gymnastics? You a nobody. Me and blank, somebody must be a friend, a laugh about this shit, me busting on your back. This cat is he's a savage. What is this? I let him know when I'm bored. You a disgrace to little girls. You a failed gymnast living in the past at your mama house with your mama. Lucky I showed you around, you welcome. My baby mama know a weak B when she spot one. You played yourself. Congratulations, you played yourself. Wow. He further demeaned her in repeated text messages, calling her a quote-unquote weak bitch and dumb ass hoe, quote-unquote. Ms. Taylor cut off all contact with Brown as a result. Chapter 4. Brown convinces Ms. Taylor to resume training him. Word. After those text messages? Come on. You telling me you gonna go back to this cat? Like I said, guys, you don't know the situation. Now, initially, we thought she was on top of things. From his text messages, he is making it seem in these texts as if she's a failed gymnast living in the past at your mama house with your mama. Context, right? So even though the narrative is being built by the lawyers, these text messages were before any thought of building a narrative. So while they are damning in a way to Antonio Clown, their narrative of who she is seems to be a little bit of a sugar-coated one itself. So in February 2018, Brown sent Ms. Taylor a message thanking her for help in the offseason and stating he would love to continue working with her under the right circumstances. He also mentioned that unlike many of the other people that surrounded him, she had a great heart and cared about him. Hey, fool me once. Shame on me. Shit. Ms. Taylor did not respond to the message. Then in early March 2018, Brown sent Ms. Taylor another message asking her if she hated him now. He went on to say, okay, so if this, where is the text message? Show us the screen. Show us the screenshot. You showed it to us on the bad stuff. Well, show it to us. If you got more, show the rest of them to us. I mean, come on. Let's, that to me is a red flag. Like, okay, you got these texts over here, but where are these? Where's the whole context for us to understand how they reconnected? That is important. I apologize, first off, with so much going on around me and my actions. He asked for her to train him again, assuring her that things would be different. Miss Taylor agreed, but on one condition, which is reflected in writing, that Brown stop flirting with her anymore. She also required that he provide her hotel accommodations for each trip. Okay, smart way to do it. Stupid to reconnect with them, but smart way to, try to protect yourself there. I can dig that. Fine. In approximately April 2018, Miss Taylor returned to working during off-season weekends for Brown. His life at that point was in apparent chaos. Many of the people who worked with him previously had quit, including his chef and another trainer. So I guess the story about the chef thing, that was him. They could no longer take Brown's mistreatment and troubling behavior. CTE, guarantee it. He was also having trouble balancing the responsibilities he had arising out of his many endorsement deals, including with Campbell's Soup, Nike, Pepsi, Pizza Hut, AT&T, DirecTV, and Rite Aid, among others. Damn, so they went and looked up all his sponsors, because ain't no way she knew all that. She didn't know all that. She didn't know all these companies he had deals with. Come on. He showed up late to events he was required to attend for those sponsors, or otherwise failed to hold up his contractual obligations. Okay, again, painting a narrative of him with things that have nothing to actually do with the actual complaint. In the wake of staff defections and chaos surrounding him, Brown often relied on Ms. Taylor to take care of his administrative needs when she was there with him on weekends. She was tasked with booking flights for him, keeping his travel schedule, making sure he arrived at sponsored events on time, and even babysitting his children. You dummy! What are you doing? He's setting you up. Is he paying you extra? Come on. Now, again, don't get me wrong. I don't want nobody to misconstrue why I'm saying what a dummy, because it has nothing to do with the actual complaint. This is actually, he turned you into his runner, into his assistant. You allowed that, even though you're supposed to be there training him for gymnastics. You're supposed to be at a hotel, there and gone, not hanging out with him, not over at his house. Based on y'all's previous experience, you shouldn't be, I mean, the simple fact that you're there is a problem, but you shouldn't be engaging in becoming a part of his everyday life after what just happened. I mean, you're already in worst case scenario. Well, not yet, allegedly. Chapter 5. Brown's aggression escalates to rape. On approximately May 20th, 2018, Brown invited Miss Taylor, another football player who trained with them, and a few friends for a night out while they were in Miami. Okay. So you're telling me this dude who you have had this horrible experience with, and again, I'm not saying that any of these allegations are true or false. We don't have a complete understanding yet. But in what I'm reading here, I'm just trying to understand the thought process here and why the hell this woman was even working with this cat again. He beat his meat on your back. You know, if that happened to a dude, what would happen? Man, if he didn't get shot that day, then we definitely weren't gonna ever see each other again. But you're back at this dude's crib. Now you're his assistant, basically. And he invites you with other football players and other friends for a night out on the town in Miami, and you go. Hey, that's a bad decision. That's all I can say. That's all I'm going to say. That's a bad decision. Because for him, in his position, he got you. That's how he's looking at it. Got her. She coming out with us, definitely going down. That's how he's thinking. Because that's just how, that's how the thought process is for most guys when you don't make your intentions and your and set the boundaries in a clear and concise way. I mean, wow. That's just not the move to make, Miss Taylor. But that does not take away from the allegation you're making, and it does not in any way give him any right to act on any assumptions he may have without consent. And again, we don't know the entire story. So we have to just we have to read this and take it for what it is. It's an allegation, and it is her word right now against his, and civil court will decide, at the end of the day, or possibly criminal, depending, because she is using rape as her allegation, which, I mean, it's only been May 20th. I mean, it's only been a year and some change. They will investigate that. I mean, in some way, they'll investigate it. Oh, MR. So MR is saying supposedly she wanted AB to investigate 1.6 in her business. Damn. I mean, that's a hell of a that's a hell of a proposal. Divine 2986. These texts help AC in my opinion. Well, he didn't deny that he beat his meat on her back. So that is still considered sexual assault. Absolutely. Yeah, he admitted he did that. He admitted that he did that shit. Woo! King Tut, those texts convinced me that there's more to this than just sexually harassing his trainer. Sounds like she was interested in him. He got mad because he didn't get sex that day. Okay, okay. I see, and with MR, with your comment, I see where y'all are going with this. Yeah, he sure does do what he wants. But look, if she wanted him to invest 1.6 million, this is the thing. Like Dave Chappelle said, ain't no such thing as a free 1.6 million. If she wanted that money, he was wanting some sex, and we all know that. We all know that. And even then, he probably still wasn't gonna give her the money. But for her simply asking if that's the case, it's a rumor. I haven't seen anything that alleges that. But if that was the case, I mean, what did you think he was gonna try and get for his investment in your gym? He literally degraded you over the fact that you were a failed gymnast. So, that 1.6 million ain't gonna be free. Not at all. Sorry. But, okay. The group went to a club. Miss Taylor, Brown, and the other known football player left the club together in Miss Taylor's rental car. So she drove golly. She drove the two men back to Brown's house where they were staying. Look at this side note. Brown is no stranger to controversy. Many incidents involving him have widely been reported in the press. He's been accused of throwing objects off a balcony in a rage, nearly striking a toddler. He's engaged in a public spat with the mother of one of his children, and he was recently accused by his mother of another one of his children of physical assault. Further, conflicts and arguments with NFL officials, reporters. Oh, what the hell is that? Reporters and teammates have been commonplace. Whatever. We know that. Doesn't have anything to do with this, but we know that. Miss Taylor was planning to immediately drive to her hotel, but went into Brown's home to use the restroom and grab some food from the kitchen. Oh my God! Okay, another question. Where's her boyfriend? Where is her boyfriend? Her boyfriend had to have found out about him beating his meat on her back. So I'm sure he'd be like, ain't no way in hell you going back to Miami or Pittsburgh. I don't give a damn how much he paying you. And then she probably broke up with him. And then she went to Miami and Pittsburgh. So, moving on. While Miss Taylor was walking towards the front door, Brown grabbed her arm, told her he wanted to talk to her, and pulled her into his bedroom. They chatted for a few minutes, and Miss Taylor went to walk out of the room. Brown cornered her and pulled her down on the bed on her stomach, pushing her face down into the mattress. She attempted to physically resist, but he pinned her down so that she was unable to fight back. As she struggled, he lifted her dress and told her, "You know you want this." Said no football player ever. Anyways, that's a lame ass line. If he said that, that's lame as hell. I mean, it's already lame, obviously, if this is what happened. This is lame. It's a crime. But yeah, nobody says you know you want this. I mean, come on. Shit. Out of here. As she struggled, Miss Taylor pleaded with him, shouting no and stop, but Brown refused and proceeded with great violence to penetrate her. Miss Taylor protested and cried the entire time. Brown finally released her. Miss Taylor stood up in a state of trauma and shock, crying in front of him. Okay, so where is his teammate who's staying there as well? Because at this point, if she was screaming and saying no, then unless the other teammate was in a different part of the house where there's so much, house between the walls that you can't hear nobody in the next room over, I would assume that you would go check that out. I mean, I would. If I heard a girl screaming in the next room over, no and stop, and I knew my dude was over there, I would be like, yo, AC, you shouldn't be doing that, bro. I mean, you don't want your boy to get locked up on some shit to catch a case, but also at the same time, like, don't be stupid. Don't rape women. All right. When Brown finally released her, Miss Taylor stood up. Okay, we already got there. Devastated and disoriented, she ran into the foyer and collapsed on the ground. No one came to her rescue or to help her in any way. She was completely alone. Eventually, she summoned the strength to pick herself off the floor, make it to the door, get into the car, and drive, dazed and emotionally shattered, to her hotel. I like how they added that, dazed and emotionally shattered. She was so exhausted that she fell asleep at the stoplight and on the drive back. She fell asleep at the stoplight, so no cop pulled up, no passerby honked their horn, no bum on the street walked up and knocked on the window. Okay. I mean, I know of cats passing out at stoplights, and generally they end up with DUIs. So I'm surprised that nobody, no cop, no nobody, saw that she was asleep in the car and decided that, we were going to see what's wrong with this person if they need assistance. Or maybe there's somebody who's drunk and the cop needs to handle that. Okay, let's see here. The next day, Miss Taylor had to return to Brown's home. Oh my fucking God. The next day, Miss Taylor had to return to Brown's home to retrieve personal belongings before flying back to Memphis. She courageously approached Brown, telling him that they needed to talk about last night. He replied, "You made me feel like a real rapist." I don't know how I feel about that, because I mean, that just adds to the narrative. That adds to the narrative. How can you prove that he actually said that? And if you're him, I would never, first off, I'm not, allegedly, I'm not, he is being accused of rape. But if I was him, I would never, ever use those words. Ever. Just because I know if You know, if anybody asks questions about the situation between what happened with us, you know, you don't want to you don't want to say something that's really, you know, he may have felt like, oh, I thought we were, you know, vibing and we was doing what we do. But look, it's, I don't know. This is weird. There's some weirdness to this story that it's not, a lot of really, really bad decisions on her part. Just common sense things. Like, after he beat his meat on your back, you never see this motherfucker again, period. Unless, you know, there's something that you were looking for out of this. Because you continued to go back to his house. You continued to go out and party with him. Like, you went out and party with a dude who beat his meat on your back, who walked in the bathroom with his dick out the very first night that you were in town to work with him. Like, and if you were, okay, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna say that she's not you know, a Christian per se or whatever, you know, a devout Christian, but God helps those who help themselves, right? So why the hell would you put yourself back repeatedly, 2, 3 occasions where you put yourself in repeated danger of a person that you, after the first experience, considered a direct threat to your peace of mind, to your personal space, and finally here, to your own body. And you went back each time. Now, again, this doesn't mean or take away or diminish in any way the seriousness of what she is accusing him of. But damn, I mean, the red flags, at least on, I mean, somebody has to sit down and tell you, hey, don't do that. Shit. Said, I need to talk, blah, 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 blah. Miss Taylor left Brown's Miami home. Although she had to return to Brown's Miami home to retrieve some personal belongings, she ceased working for Brown thereafter. And now here we go. We are closing. Let me see. Oh, okay. Gets a little bit more juicy here. See here. Let's see what we got on this chat. You know, Deluxe, the champ, I don't know. There's some questionable things in this complaint. There are some questionable things in this complaint. Not gonna lie. But be that as it may, even if she was dumb enough to keep going back to this cat's place, if he did what he did, then it's a wrap for that cat. It don't matter, because the text messages pretty much seal the deal on one of the incidents, guaranteed. And you know, the next two situations were just like, what the hell are you doing? And you know, for me, it's hard to look at this and not feel like there's a little bit that we're not being told, because she keeps going to this cat's house. She went to go party with him again. Like, what? Unbelievable, dude. Over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, Jamie, you're right. She is just dumb for putting herself in those positions over and over again. They have proof of one incident, which is still a crime. I mean, what he did was definitely a crime. You can't jack off on people. Sorry. Okay, so another section. Brown's actions have severely traumatized Miss Taylor. In the days after the rape, Miss Taylor feared that she could have become pregnant or could have contracted an STD from Brown. Specifically, on June 13th, 2018 and July 1st, 2018, she purchased a home pregnancy test and an STD kit from Walgreens. For months after the rape, Miss Taylor did her best to put what happened out of her mind. As is typical with many victims of rape, she made attempts to live her life as if nothing happened. Those attempts to compartmentalize, deny, and normalize her life proved unsustainable. Or, potentially, she ran out of money. But, speculation. I'm not saying that's what happened. After several months, the shock, disbelief, and denial gave way to overwhelming bouts of anxiety, and Miss Taylor fell into deep depression. She has had near daily panic attacks, frequent suicidal ideations, and insomnia. I mean, I got insomnia. Shoot, I'm still awake, and I probably ain't going to sleep for another 4 hours. It has been extremely. She has also lost a remarkable amount of weight, 30 pounds in 1 month due to stress. It has been extremely difficult for her to process that Brown could betray and violate her so completely. How is that difficult to process? He beat his meat on your back. How is that difficult to process that he would betray you so completely? He did it 3 times. He did inappropriate conduct to you. And one of those 3 times, allegedly again, all the 3 of these, except for actually 2 of them are alleged. One of them we have confirmation of through Antonio Clown himself. But 2 more times after the first incident, and this is a betrayal now, finally? I mean, come on, he beat his meat on your back. I mean, do you know, what? If it ain't your girlfriend, if it ain't your wife, and you just beat your meat on somebody's back, you know what kind of sign that is? That's a F-U sign. That's like, get the out of here. That's what that is. Oh my God. Okay. Brown devastated her sense of self, made her question her worth as a woman and a human being, and caused her to question whom she could trust. Oh my God, did I just see a hashtag? Yes, I did. On January 6th, 2019, before seeking legal counsel, Ms. Taylor reached out to hashtag Time's Up Now about the rape. While she does not know if her message was ever received by the organization, she described the rape without naming her assailant. That's probably why they didn't reply. In all, Brown has caused serious and extreme damage to Ms. Taylor, harm that impacts all aspects of her life, both personally and professionally. She will bear the scars of what Brown did to her for the rest of her life, and she will never be the same unless she gets $3.5 million. I just added that last part on. The trauma has made it extremely difficult for Ms. Taylor to maintain her responsibilities at her gym. I thought he said she didn't have a gym. She knows that she is a role model for the 50 young girls that she trains. So she still's got the 50 from 2 years ago. But what about the 200 that were on the waiting list? She knows that they rely on her and they look up to her. And again, all of this to me is perfectly I get it. She is a role model to other young girls, and she has a business, I guess, and she's running that, and she's dealing with the trauma that, from her point of view, she's dealing with the trauma because we don't know all the facts. I just have a very big problem with some of the aspects of this complaint because it has there's a lot of holes in this, because you can't really, how do you explain repeatedly going back to this cat? The only thing I can think of is you needed the money if you were working for him. But on the last one, you were out partying with him in Miami. So I'm like, come on, man. I mean, if this was your, if this guy was the danger or was the nuisance that you saw him as, then, and he doesn't even live near you, why even ever communicate? Like, block his number and don't ever, just leave it at that. And, like he said in the text, she hit him up. He didn't hit her up. That's what the text message that he sent her said. And he continued to talk about her trying to make a come up on him. So that story arc needs to be fleshed out so that we can understand what really, all in all, what was he talking about? Because that text message was one, that was a pissed off text message. So he clearly felt like she tried to take advantage of him at some point, maybe. And in return, he beat his meat on her back. I don't know. That's just speculation. But since the rape, she has substantial difficulty even going to work. This assault also has had a profound and negative effect on her personal life. Her long-term boyfriend, whom she had been dating on and off ever since high school, proposed to her less than 2 weeks after she was raped by Brown. Did this chump know she was going there? Because if he knew, and he knew what happened to her the first time, which if it was a serious relationship, I would assume that she would have mentioned that, right? If she didn't, then, another bad decision. But I would assume that he knows who Antonio Brown is, her boyfriend. So why would he even let her go? I'd be like, no, you got your business here. You do your shit here. You ain't going over there. Period. He beat his meat on your back. You're not going over there. Okay. We're almost to the end of this, guys. Hang with me, squad. O-line. As a result, okay. After she was raped by Brown. What should have been one of the most exciting times in her life has been completely derailed and complicated. It took her months to tell her fiance what occurred, and that disclosure put a serious strain on their relationship. Yeah, I bet when you told him all the shit y'all was doing out there, he definitely was hot about that. I mean, you became this cat's assistant. He beat his meat on your back the first weekend you knew him, or you went there and the first weekend you worked for him. Then, after cutting him off, you allow him to pull you back in. Then you go back down there again, multiple times. He turned you into his assistant. Then you go and party with him again the third time, which... Has she only been there 3 times? That's another question. Because if she had only been there 3 times, he was flying her in so he could try and hit. And she was flying him, or was flying there to try and gain favor with him in order to get an investment for her gym. Again, my speculation, don't take it with a grain of salt because I don't know these people for squat. But just putting 2 and 2 together, I mean, okay. As a result, difficulties in relationship, with her and her fiance, the extreme emotional difficulties she was having in the wake of the rape, Miss Taylor turned to her religion and sought guidance with the leader of her church. As it turned out, the leader was a former assistant district attorney and sex crimes prosecutor who worked for many years in New York. Hold up, the leader of her church was a former assistant district attorney? my goodness. What? Oh, come on. Oh, this is just, I mean, what? This is becoming fantastic, like completely a fantastical story. You know, I mean, look, I don't want to make light of it so much in the specific allegations. But all this stuff surrounding the allegations is just like, what is this? Like, a district attorney was your church leader. And he's a sex crimes prosecutor at that. This former DA, now turned religious leader, immediately recognized the signs of trauma Miss Taylor was experiencing because of her sexual assault, and recommended she enter intensive therapy and retain legal counsel. Okay, look, I done watched enough Law and Order SVU to know that if you got a homie or a home girl who is a assistant or a former assistant district attorney, and you pass this kind of word on to them, oh, they're gonna find a way to make it a case. They're gonna find a way. They got phone numbers. They got a Rolodex full of district attorneys' numbers all around the country. They're gonna find a way to start investigating for criminal misconduct. So this is like, what? He recommended intensive therapy. What kind of district attorney, what prosecutor do you know that recommends intensive therapy? None that I know. I've never even heard of it. Psychologist, maybe. Wow. I mean, I'm going to look up her lawyers after this and see who these cats are, because they just, man. All right, here we go. This is what happens when religion is involved. I hear you. I mean, yeah, real Captain Jack. This is getting even weirder. You damn right it's getting weirder. Shoot. Zaytochi. I'm sorry, she bootleg. I mean, whew. The complaint does not look. There's something off about this, man. It's just too much like. And I don't even like this bum, this clown. But I ain't finna just assume that he's guilty. But at the same time, you gotta wait till the facts come out, which is, you know, that's just how it is. But I guess we can say if he doesn't settle, then we'll actually get to see it play out. But if he does settle, then there's probably going to be an NDA, and we'll never hear about how much he got or what the details, what the full scale of the details were. But if he does settle, I would just say check her Instagram daily, see if she buys a new car, what kind of car she gets. We'll know. All right. Since that time, Ms. Taylor was taking a polygraph examination. It was conducted by one of the nation's leading examiners. Okay, before I go one smidgen further, polygraphs were not even admissible in criminal court. Now, this is a civil case, but polygraphs aren't admissible for a reason, because you can coach someone and train someone on how to pass it even if they're guilty. All it's doing is recording your heartbeat and your pulse and measuring the fluctuations in all of these things when you answer questions. So, the polygraph, of course, confirmed her completely truthful account that in June 2017, Brown ejaculated on her without her consent, and that in May 2018, that Brown raped her. First cause of action. Okay. Plaintiff repeats and realleges that both paragraphs are fully set forth herein. Okay, I think that's all just confirming that what you're saying is what? By restraining plaintiff in his, oh wow, false imprisonment. What? False imprint. Okay, I guess if she's alleging that he held her down on the bed, I don't know the legal how they view that from a legal standpoint. False imprisonment seems a little bit different, a little bit, I don't know. Invasion of privacy, yada yada yada. Unwanted and offensive sexual contact with plaintiff was an invasion of her privacy. Prayer for relief. Whereas plaintiff respectfully requested the court grant her the relief requested as follows. Okay, here we go. Let's see how much money. An award of damages to be determined at trial to compensate plaintiff for all non-monetary and compensatory harm, including but not limited to compensation for physical injuries. You have to describe, physical injuries, pain and suffering, humiliation, embarrassment, stress, anxiety, loss of self-esteem, and self-confidence. Hey, loss of self-esteem and self-confidence, that's not on, is it? Is that on him? Because, okay, think about it from a guy's perspective. When you get rejected by a chick, do you just be like, man, I ain't shit. I don't never want to go out no more, never again. I don't think so. Some cats, maybe. We don't know. Maybe she's one of those. I don't know. Anyways, an award of punitive damages in an amount to be determined at trial, sufficient to deter. Sufficient to deter defendant from engaging in future illegal and or wrongful conduct. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so that's the end of it. That's just, you know what? Let's look up this before we end this live story time session. Let's all take a look here at this law firm because I have to see who these cats are. Emery's, where are they at? This is in, okay, lawyer. No, that's not a lawyer. That's not a lawyer. Oh, wait, bar number. Yeah, this is the lawyer. No bar number there. The bar number. Okay, David Haas. Let's look this cat up. Four Google reviews. Hold on, let's see. Ooh. Oh. Wait, where's there? That's a courtroom, so that's not his office. This is the guy? Oh, fuck. No wonder it sounds so damn Nobody at your event. Nobody at your event. Hey, real Captain Jack, holla at you, man. Have a good one. Oh man, gotta rewind and start from the beginning. Look at this guy. All right, so this is our lawyer. Let's see. You know what? Yeah, let's get in close and see what this. What does that university say? Let me zoom in some more on this. I cannot tell. That looks like a, let's go in further. Damn, I can't tell what college this cat went to. It's not Miami. They don't say Miami. Driving mayhem. You know what? I I actually kind of agree with you on that because his past is what's going to bite him in the ass harder than anything. The fact that his behavior has been erratic and unpredictable and mostly negative towards anyone who has to deal with him. Okay, I see what the University of Florida. I see the Gator over there. But that middle one, I think, is his law school degree. I can't tell what it is. Anyways, definitely a situation that Antonio Clown's past and his current antics are going to have to likely figure in to the perception of him before he even sets foot in a courtroom. So his best bet would likely be to settle. Be that as it may, this bum is nothing but trouble. And I wonder what New England's going to do. After how they just manhandled Pittsburgh, shoot, they might just be like, fuck it, cut him. But he gets like $9 million off rip, right? So yeah, UK reactions, yeah. He's innocent until proven guilty. We got to remember that. He's innocent until proven guilty. I'm not going to pass judgment on the female and say that she is lying, because she does have actual proof of the text message that Antonio Clown sent her admitting to beating his meat on her back. Now, with that being said, I think if you're Antonio Clown, you tell your lawyers that they want, they need a discovery on all her phone records and all the text messages exchanged between her and Antonio Clown, so we can see the entire full context as to what really, what the whole picture was. Because look at this guy, look at this lawyer. You think this cat didn't make half of this stuff up and, well, not make it up, but glamorize her to a point? This is a big money case for him. This is the biggest case he has ever had in his life. He's trying to get paid. Better call Saul. That's what his shit is. So, he got an opportunity here to hit that bizank. So, shoot, I know if I was him, I'd be like, look, I'm getting 45%. That's my fee. I'll represent you for free. Which would just be another cat taking, full advantage of this chick. Like, You know what? I might start selling shirts called that say Antonio Clown on it. Whenever I can get this thing up to monetization level. But yeah, so this is her lawyer. And again, like I said, this guy's website, dude, nobody care. Let me see this. He got the same damn pictures on this as he had on it. Look at this. He got a WordPress website. Tell us what happened. Get help immediately. More than 15 years of experience in federal and state courts. Has tried dozens of cases in federal and state courts, teachers, trial advocacy to law students, and is experienced at handling a wide variety of criminal charges. Contact our law office to schedule a consultation at our Orlando office. Our phones are answered 24 hours a day. Hold up, where is this? Orlando? This isn't Orlando. Oh, look, he got, look at this. Look at this down here. Look down here in the corner. In the bottom left corner, he got this. Whoop. What is that? All right, guys. So we see what it is, right? We see what the situation is. And, I say personally, let's just wait. Let's just wait and see what happens. The only reason why, for me, this is something that I deem as, absolutely noteworthy, is because now we can test that whole theory that the Patriots actually have morals from a franchise standpoint, because, he admitted to beating his meat on her back. So that should fall immediately under the personal conduct policy of the NFL, which means Roger Goodell needs to fucking do something. Do you think Antonio Clown will do a live stream from their locker room? And also, doesn't Oakland have a case against him for leaking a private conversation or documents? Yeah, that's another thing. What he did to John Gruden was illegal. So definitely a situation where, again, the NFL personal conduct policy has to come into effect. He has three major things going on right now that the NFL has yet to even say a word about, which don't make no sense. Allegations of rape, which, and I'm not defending this cat at all, but Ray Rice, he knocked his wife out in the elevator and got black, and he was done. His career's over. This chick has text messages of him admitting to beating his meat on her back, which is sexual assault, and that should immediately activate the NFL player conduct policy with Roger Goodell, and he should be looking at his career being over. So we'll see how this thing plays out, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and bring this stream to an end. I had an amazing time with you guys. You guys are fucking a riot. Loved everything you guys were talking about in here. Great conversation. Hit the like button on my videos. Share it with your friends. I am still working on my Sticks and Stones video essay, which I'll be dropping here in the next day or two. I've been working on that thing. I was actually working on it when this news broke. I literally caught it as it broke, and with the New York Times, and I was just like, God, video time. So, a whole night that I originally had planned to dedicate towards finishing up the Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones video essay. Now, as you can see, we are here once again talking about Antonio Clown. So, with that, I am your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. I will catch you all on the next video. Peace.